Hey everybody, welcome to Mortgage Today for Monday, September 30th, 2024, end of month, and oh, what a day it was. UMBS continued their red run this morning, down 6 basis points in early trading. S&P futures were down 11.75 points. U.S. equity futures started the week on the back foot after last week's record highs, with traders already looking forward to key data on the American labor market due Friday and its impact on the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 contracts dropped while Treasury yields climbed, led by the policy-sensitive 2-year note. The dollar was little changed as they gauge the outlook for the Federal Reserve rate cuts. Investors must also ponder the cocktail of risks, including rising tensions in the Middle East. This week ahead will be dominated by the jobs report on Friday. However, we will get ISM data and a lot of Fed speakers. The street is looking for payroll growth to slow and the unemployment rate to be steady at 4.2%. Jerome Powell spoke today at 1 o'clock. The Federal Reserve Chair Powell said the central bank will lower interest rates over time, while again emphasizing that the overall U.S. economy remains on solid footing. Powell also reiterated his confidence that inflation will continue moving toward the Fed's 2% target, adding that economic conditions set the table for a further easing of price pressures. Looking forward, if the economy evolves broadly as expected, policy will move over time toward a more neutral stance, Powell said in a speech in Nashville at the annual meeting of the National Association for Business Economics. But we are not on any present course, he said, noting that policymakers will continue to make decisions meeting by meeting based on the incoming economic data. A neutral policy is one that neither stimulates nor holds back the economy. In the lexicon of market watching, the Fed is considered to be dovish when they're saying things that are generally friendly for rates. When the opposite is the case, the term is hawkish. Relative to expectations, the market felt Powell was hawkish at the press conference 2 weeks ago. Because of that and because the bond losses that followed, there was some false hope of a dovish counterbalancing act today. It wouldn't exactly be fair to say Powell was hawkish, but he certainly wasn't feeling compelled to throw the bond market about. The comment earning the most focus was essentially a reminder that the Fed is not in any hurry to cut rates and will be glued and will be guided by the data. That isn't really anything new, but bonds were modestly disappointed by the weakness. UMBS closed the day down 18 basis points at 100.18. So at 100.18. So bonds closed the day down 18 points. So bonds closed the day down 18 basis points at 101.18. So at 101.18, that puts us below this 25-day moving average, which is a strong trend line that we really have not gone below for quite some time. So hopefully we can get some bad news and bounce back above that. Went well below it before closing, just slightly below. In other news, we got a bunch of mortgage world news. So Nexa's drawn-out legal battle with smart mortgage centers got dismissed. Basically, in this case, they were suing a former employee who said that they had stolen proprietary secrets or client information from smart mortgage centers and went to Nexa. The court dismissed the case. Congress fits trigger lead ban into the 2025 budget, so hopefully something will come with that. Also, a Florida judge dismisses the UWM ultimatum case. There are multiple cases going on this in 2021. There was a lawsuit in federal court in Florida against UWM that the ultimatum was antitrust, and apparently that got thrown out. In other Nexa lawsuit news, the judge granted Grilla's motion to dismiss the Nexa lawsuit, so the founders of Nexa have been suing each other for various reasons. It looks like this one is centered around whether or not one of the owners took a company car and they sold it and kept the cash. It looks like it was thrown out of court. The last paragraph here was kind of the interesting one, where Judge Scott McCoy, who granted dismissal, disagreed with Cordes. So we're basically Cordes made the case that the purpose of filing the lawsuit was not to win the lawsuit, but just for public consumption. The judge granted dismissal, disagreed with Cordes, suggesting the company reconsider its filing, noting that the current claims are quite weak. McCoy further pointed out that Nexa's operating agreement stipulates that the primary purpose of that its primary purpose is to function as a its primary purpose is to function as a mortgage broker, and engaging in other business ventures requires unanimous consent from its owners. So sounds like the judge is not liking those next lawsuits.